Hi, in this video, I'm going to share with you why it makes sense to live in the inland areas of San Diego, or if you choose to live on the coast. Recently, I drove to La Jolla as I have a new listing in La Jolla, and I couldn't believe the sun was not out, and it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon where the sun had been shining since early morning in Poway. And I wondered, why do people live on the coast when there's no sunshine? And I'm going to share the pros and cons of living coastal or living inland here in San Diego. Well, if you're looking at what defines inland here in San Diego, a lot of people define anything 15 minutes east of the beach. So if you go 15 minutes, so what qualifies living inland versus living coastal? Well, here in San Diego, the usual rule of thumb is if you go 15 minutes east, that means you're inland. And some of those communities might be San Marcos, that could be Del Sur, that could be Rancho Santa Fe, Rancho Penasquitos, Tierra Santa. Really, the rule of thumb is 15 minutes from the beach, and sometimes the traffic, it might be 30, but that's the rule of thumb here. So some of the trade-offs about living coastal versus living inland is your commute. Speaking of commute, what are your options when you live inland versus living coastal? Well, when you live coastal, it's sometimes really hard to get in and out of those beach areas, especially during the summertime when everyone comes to San Diego. Well, if you live inland, you actually have easier options to get on and off freeways, and sometimes there's a lot of options for carpools. That's just one of the many things that makes living inland a little bit more appealing when it comes to dealing with traffic. When it comes to commuting, living in the beach areas, sometimes it's hard to find parking. Well, if you live in the inland areas, there's not as many issues when it comes to finding parking and the accessibility to get in and out of places a lot quicker. So if commute is important to you and you're looking for the trade-off between living inland or living coastal, keep in mind it is harder to access those main freeways from the coastal areas when you're dealing with high traffic summertime seasons. Well, when it comes to the outdoors, what's better, coastal or inland? Well, let's just state the obvious. The beach, of course, coastal has the beach. However, when you go inland, you get to experience lakes, hiking trails, equestrian, and there's so much more to offer when it comes to the outdoors when you live inland. Some of our favorite things to do here in the inland areas of San Diego is hiking. There are so many hiking trails, and our family, we love to mountain bike. Our favorite place to mountain bike is actually Lake Hodges. So one of the things that you'll find living in inland communities here in San Diego are the various HOAs that have these amazing community centers. And when I talk about community centers, well, I'm talking about clubs. And these clubs are part of many of the HOAs here. And for example, one of them is the Rancho Bernardo Swim and Tennis Club. Here, you're gonna find swimming, a brand new gym, classes, and there's something for everybody. And that is one of the many perks about living in a neighborhood with an HOA are the community amenities here in the inland areas. Inland versus coastal schools. Well, that could be an actual video on itself in regards to school districts here in San Diego County. So some of the big school districts in San Diego is San Diego Unified, which is one of the largest, and which follows suit of whatever Los Angeles is doing. So if you want to know what San Diego Unified is doing, see what LA Unified is doing. And you also have the San Diego School District, which that's more of the Del Mar area, Rancho Santa Fe, Solana Beach, and San Marcos, which is in the North County of San Diego, which is highly acclaimed because they do have some of that Mello-Roos money from Santa Leo Hills, and they just recently, well, it wasn't recent, but they have done a huge remodel to San Marcos High School, and they have a lot of funds to support the special needs community. Poway Unified School District is a massive school district when you're thinking about moving inland. And what is that composed of? Well, it's just not the city of Poway. Poway Unified School District also covers the neighborhoods of Del Sur, Forest Ranch, Rancho Penasquitos, Carmel Mountain Ranch, Sabre Springs, Rancho Bernardo, and I mean, what doesn't this area cover, right? When it comes to the I-15 corridor of what Poway Unified covers. One easy thing to remember is Poway Unified basically just goes up to Scripps Ranch, if you are familiar with the I-15 corridor, all the way up to South Escondido, right before you get to the mall. That's really Poway Unified. Inland versus coastal when it comes to housing affordability. Well, my grandfather always told me, if you want to make it big in real estate, always buy by the beach. So beach real estate will always, of course, be more expensive. That's just real estate 101. However, if you want a little more bang for your buck, I recommend going inland into San Diego, as you can get more price per square foot, more land, and more accessibility to great schools. Inland versus coastal when it comes to new construction. Well, rule 101 is you're always going to find newer construction in the suburbs, which is inland here in San Diego. And you'll less likely find something new construction, HOA, and more of a master plan community. If you're looking for that by the coast, that's going to be really hard to find. And I would recommend going about 15-20 minutes inland, where you can find the mecca of the HOAs and the master plan communities here in San Diego. Well, the debate between living inland versus coastal in San Diego will always be up for discussion. But one thing I can assure you that you can't go wrong is that in San Diego, it is one of the best places to live, as you can be essentially anywhere in 30 minutes. And that's why I love living in San Diego, and I love selling real estate here. You can't go wrong. If you live at the beach and you want to come inland, you'll be here in just minutes. And if you want to be inland and go to the beach, well, the best part about San Diego is you can go anytime, because we have so many beautiful beaches. I'm Kimberly Koll with Heritage Homes, and if you have any questions about the San Diego real estate market, I'm here to help you. I've sold over hundreds of homes to clients from La Jolla all the way up to Oceanside, to Chula Vista, to right here in Rancho Bernardo. Give me a call. My information is below.